And you stay the course. The Clippers did that. They currently have the fifth easiest remaining strength of schedule in the league. And they're right back in the mix. And again, like I said, should be favorites to land that 10 seed at least right now. And I do want to talk about more of the differences and more of the reasons I think that they were struggling early versus what they've been doing now, and why I think that it always made sense to stay the course. But I want to talk about something else really quickly, and I want to get your perspective on it, because this is something that's been like eating away at me to some extent, and something I've been wanting to talk about. All I heard from kind of broader analysts, NBA analysts, and media members, and all of this, even, I mean, especially fans, is like, well, the Clippers are going to tear it down. Who should we poach off the team? Like, can we get Chris Dunn from them? Can we get Nick Batum from them? Like, you know, can we get Brook Lopez from them? And I just honestly never understood the idea that they would tear it down. Like, that never made sense to me. The most obvious reason, it should go without saying, they don't have their first round pick. They don't have their first round pick. Why would you tank without your first round pick? To me, that is just not an option. That's like saving all of your income. And, you know, I want to save all my money, and I want to have, you know, be able to do this in the future. Let me save all of it. And what I'll do is I'll save all of it and deposit into someone else's bank account. Like, why would you? It doesn't track. And to me, it's like, well, then you must say, oh, well, maybe they have some contracts. If they don't trade them now, they'll lose them. No, Harden, Kawhi, Zubac, DJJ, Brook Lopez, Chris Dunn, Batum are all under contract for next season or have team options that the Clippers are likely to pick up. So any trades that they want to make now, they can easily do in the offseason. There's no benefit. The only one who is not under contract for next season is John Collins, who, if you trade John Collins, although he's been playing a lot better, shooting the ball way better of late, that's not exactly tanking to me if you trade away John Collins. Like, I think he's helpful to them and has been when he plays well, but he's a bit of a, you know, up and down player. And so, like, I don't think you're saying if we trade John Collins, we're throwing the towel in on the season. So what's the advantage of tanking? What was the advantage of tanking for this team? Unless Sam Presti is paying you under the table, it's not even a consideration. You try to make the play-in until basically you are mathematically eliminated. And if you tear it down, you do it after the season, not to give OKC the best possible first-round pick that they can get. That was the thing that had frustrated me so much, just hearing the conversations about the Clippers. I also thought they should be good. And given what we saw from them last season, being one of the scariest teams in the league going into the playoffs, like you and I both said in our coverage of the Clippers, you can find that on our Hot Hand Theory channel. We talked about them as being horrifying and scary to play for, even against the Thunder or the Nuggets. And so given all of that, having Kawhi be the healthiest he's been in years, it makes sense to me that they're back in the thick of it. I anticipated that they would be, and I never understood the idea that they should tear it down and go in a completely different direction.
It just doesn't pass the smell test, because just on the pick logic alone, like, why, even if it was, you know, one of the bottom teams that own the Clippers pick, you still wouldn't want to just hand them a top pick. You don't want to hand anybody that pick, but especially with it being the Thunder, you have to do everything you can to make sure that pick falls lower and lower.